the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other. Yes, I'm the best at what I do. One of the most notorious in YouTube anime manga community. Don't doubt the infamy, please. Don't do it. This video been a long time coming. I've talked about it on a few occasions. I already know the hate. That hate is coming. And I don't give a damn. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 1,000 for y'all, as I always do. Digimon versus Pokemon. Which is better? Those who know me know exactly where I come from. Digimon is better than Pokemon. Now, I know Pokemon's a childhood favorite. I know some ready to put the dislike button already. But those who are open-minded, who are fair, who are not biased, not prejudiced, will allow themselves to listen to the points I make. In no way, and again, I've not gotten really into the Pokemon manga, and I hear it's phenomenal. I'll leave y'all to that, I won't doubt it. Maybe one day I'll check it out myself. And I'm not hating on Pokemon. In fact, do I still have trading cards from when I was young? I forget. But I had the trading card. I love the original 150. And I probably need to do a video beyond the 150. But anyways, beyond the 150, 151, whatever. I have no disrespect to it. As the cards and whatever, it was great. One of the greatest, Yu-Gi-Oh! And a few others had better card games. But it was good. It was solid. It was hype. No disrespect. It did what it came out to do. But when it comes to Digimon versus Pokemon, Digimon was better in several aspects. If I recall, about 7. I think I'll present 7 aspects as to which Digimon was better than Pokemon. Hear me out again before you make your judgment into what I'm saying. First point, world building. Digimon versus Pokemon in world building. In defense of Pokemon, Pokemon wasn't set out originally to be this worldwide global phenomenon. Nothing like I'm talking about in its own world. It wasn't set out to be. It was a bit open-ended, but it wasn't like we were going to city to city kind of thing, like on some Trey Songz status. But it was literally city to city. Trainers and doing that thing, and we go from there. But then it started to extend, and we started to go on travels in the deserts and different places, and cool. Get it. When it comes to Digimon, number one, there wasn't just one world. There was the human world, and then there became the world of Digimon. And eventually, it started to expand as the series continued. The various subsequent series, right? Sequels and all that jazz. Those that went the branch series, and you know how that junk goes. You had 2 worlds. That in of itself is crazier world building, because you have 2 worlds you have to deal with, and they're going simultaneously. How do we know this? It wasn't like you just in some 5-minute and crazy time. Literally, they were going side by side, paralleling in the timeline, and eventually they interacted with one another. You saved the Digimon world, now you gotta save the human world as well. The Digimon world had so many environments in which it dealt with, so many different types of Digimon. Okay, just in that factor alone, that gives it the edge. Second point, evolution. Now, people want to say Digimon is a copy of Pokemon. Yes, they have similar, come from a similar framework. Whichever came first, cool. A lot of things have have similarities. That's called genres, ladies and gentlemen. Genres. Doesn't mean it's the same, doesn't mean it copied. It's just in the same genre using similar templates. Seriously. So what do you have here? The evolutions, okay? Not only in general were the Digimon more intelligent, more sentient than the Pokemon. This is fact that is irrefutable. Go and compare the two. It's Form 2. You have many of them talking, if not all of them talking. Okay? They themselves developed. Not all the Pokemon had 3rd forms. You had Digimon with most, if not all, had third forms or the 2nd evolution. Some went to the third evolution, fourth. So you're talking 4 or 5 forms here, all completely different. You feel me? They really truly evolved to some crazy monsters. Digimon, digital monsters. Okay? Given to the fact that you had things like Pikachu, then you had whole races. And see, this is the crazy part about it. The Pokemon, they had a bunch of races, a bunch of species, and it got there was a lot of them, because you had a Pikachu, but he was one of 1,000 Pikachu. You see what I mean? Somehow he differentiated, or she differentiated herself from the pack. But in general, the evolutionary rate. Now, there are some times where Pokemon evolution does beat out Digimon evolution. But in general, the evolutionary rate was superior with Digimon. That's point number 2. Point number 3. The fighting. Now, this may, to some people, come across as personal preference. But when you look at the fighting, I'm not saying Pokemon was down packed with the strategy. Don't get it twisted. Pokemon dropped that strategy in the game, okay? For the most part. Then you had some trainers who were like Brock. Oh, God, help us. Brock. When it came to Digimon, though, it was almost like a team. You see what I'm saying? It was similar to how Beyblade, the original series, original trilogy, I should say, did it. It was similar to how Bakugan later did it. Bakugan, you could say, took a lot from Digimon as far as in inspiration. It was more of a team aspect of it. Okay? The Digimon would do what they wanted to do, but in order to win, they had to work with their trainer, for lack of a better word, if we're going to use a Pokemon reference. Okay? So it was a symbiotic relationship, whereas it was a symbiotic, almost a mutualistic relationship, rather than a symbiotic, possibly commensalistic relationship. And for those who don't know, mutualism is like both benefit. Commensalism is one benefit, the other isn't affected. And parasitic is where one benefits at the other's harm, for lack of a better, more accurate terminology. When it came to it, Pokemon was more or less commensalistic at times, while Digimon in general was mutualistic. And that mutualistic relationship also keyed in to the evolutionary rate of the Digimon. It was very much about personalities, and it went in deep. There's that. Point number, where am I? Point number 4, characterization. Not only were you getting characterizations from the quote-unquote trainers, but you were also getting characterizations from Digimon themselves. Specifically the main 7. But even those, and I'm not saying Pokemon didn't have, I mean, you did have specific, but again, this goes back to the races, except for a few. The cat with Team Rocket, you had Mewtwo, the greatest Pokemon in history. People say what they want, but he is. Mewtwo. If not for Mewtwo saves Pokemon in this aspect. Both, and I'll deal with character development in a little bit. But Mewtwo's characterization was just too phenomenal, just legendary, might I add. So again, there's no bias from me. Mewtwo was absolutely stellar in what they did with him. Mew was pretty good. But when it came to characterization, the Digimon, individual aspects, the more that they dealt with their human partners / trainers, the better they literally evolved. Sentience, individuality, concepts of whether they were a team player, whatever else. You know, they somewhat became like, the humans, but in their own manner. So it was really interesting. It was a marriage of sorts. Not a marriage like a man and wife kind of thing, nothing like that. But a marriage of personalities, a marriage. It was a true partnership in a very sense. It was a teamwork within a team. The original 7 pairs were themselves a team, but then the Digimon were inner teams, and then there was alliances and all that factor. But the characterization of each was done well. Moving on to character development. This one is probably the more iffy one. Probably the more iffy for a lot of people. But the edge, again, I would say, goes to Digimon, and here's why. By the time we get to spiritual evolution, that in of itself, still to this day, for me, was the key sticker that sticks out, and where Digimon completely deviated from Pokemon. Spiritual evolution. Somehow the digital spirit, the spirit of a Digimon comes within these dudes, and now they themselves become not kind of sort of avatars, kind of sort of Ashura, kind of sort of just themselves the Digimon. Really interesting. Digimon incarnate almost. So that in itself was phenomenal addition. That's where we're no longer simply having this, characters and, simplistic development. We're going to this next level stuff that goes into deeper on a philosophical level, to a deeper psychological level. Because now, when you're having spirits dwelling within other beings, this starts to become very problematic. Talk about the Spectre in DC for those who are DC Universe fans. Okay? And that's all I got to say about that point. What am I at? Point number 6. I think I said I had 7 points. I'm trying to remember all my points. About 7. I mean, those are my 5 main ones. And there are probably a couple other minor ones I can make. But I don't want to spew a bunch of personal preference, so I'll just cut the video at that. These are my thoughts. What are yours? I know this is going to be heated, and I've had a few conversations, and I finally just was able to sit down and give out my thoughts, without any noise that's distracting me from talking about the issue at hand. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this specific subject, topic. And if you honestly perceive Pokemon to be superior, present, again, logic, reason, facts, and evidence. Show me where I may be mistaken. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I do prefer Digimon over Pokemon, but for most of the reasons as to which I presented in this video. So, again, it's not because of bias, it's because of quality. If you think Pokemon's better quality, don't be trolling. Bring the legitimate arguments to the table. Alright, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Once again, peace. We at ya.